Hey, greetings everyone, it's GleeCon, and I'm back again, bringing you another episode of Lore of Warcraft. Thank you so much for tuning in. On the last episode, which was a couple days ago, yesterday we had a down day with the servers being down most of the day. Um, we were in Orgrimmar, which is where we still are, and we began covering and covered most of the level 20 class quests. So it was really for the completionists out there that want to at least experience or be exposed to everything, if not see it. And we're also kind of going through the maintenance slowly of hitting level 20 on a character. As we wrap that up, we'll eventually make our way back to Silverpine because we had just started that zone, but we are also going to have to seek out our third water totem. That will probably start on this episode, so stay a while and listen as we take our Tauren shaman, Gleekan Soul, back into Orgrimmar. We're also going to open up the old class quest. So we had done all the way up through Warlock. We did the the Succubus class quest line. But if we look at our class quest list back at Warlock, so this is where we were at. We're doing the 20s. The Binding 2 is kind of where we stopped, but there is a 1, 2, and then this has some versions leading us up to the Binding 3, which is just an alternate binding. And it's up to you. You don't have to do both. We'll kind of talk about it, but let's start by looking at that. So we're going to look at the Orb of Saronruk to get us going. I really thought that might have been like a actual thing you get. So it's a level 25 quest, but again, you get this at level 20. This is, I guess, just a quest you can also get around the same time. So it says, when demons of the Legion fall out of favor, their spirits are imprisoned within orbs and distributed to their mages and warlocks. Many were carried by their servants in Azeroth, even fragmented. Again, it says just both sides. Warlocks can pick this up from Doan Karhan out in the Barrens. So I guess if you happen to make it to this guy, Alliance or not, I don't know if there was a breadcrumb that led you to him, but this guy is down there, and he will, I guess, do this quest. Many were carried by their servants in Azeroth. Even fragmented, they still possess the powers of the demons trapped inside. The Orb of Saronruk was broken into two pieces. One was further broken to be used by the Acolytes of the Twilight's Hammer in Blackfathom Deeps. The other larger piece was possessed by a wizard in Shadowfang Keep. Find them and I can reform it. So it's a pain in the butt to do this quest. I know you can do it on Alliance. I just don't know if that's the correct quest giver, because I did this on my Gnome Warlock that I play with my wife. It took me many years to collect the pieces of the Orb of Zargane, but it has served me well, as I am sure the Orb of Saronruk will serve you. Yes, the orb was not greatly fragmented, and almost all of the pieces are here. It is a simple thing to recreate them to make Saronruk whole again. I've dedicated my life to the study of the Burning Legion's orbs and their recreation. You have done me a favor collecting these pieces to study, and I'll give you them back fully reconstructed in a form of your choosing. So you can take it as an orb, which as a warlock I tend to like to have an offhand weapon, but it increases the damage of either your fire or your shadow, which for a warlock, that's all your spells, by 4, and you can use it to put a hot on yourself with a half-hour cooldown. Or if you put it as a staff, the damage is going to go up to 9. It's going to now take 2 hands instead, but you get the major downside of this is nobody cares about a half-hour hot. That heals a total of 250 life. Nobody cares. And the damage increase, 4 or 9 damage, is not very good. I mean, sure, at this level it's okay, with no stat bonuses added in. So really not that great of a quest for the work you have to do. If you look at where these things appear from, these fragments are dropped by the Twilight Acolytes, and where are they found? In Blackfathom Deeps, like more than like halfway into the dungeon or more. So they're not easy to get. And then if you look back at the actual large fragment, that's pretty deep in there. That's dropped by a Shadowfang Dark Soul, which are found throughout pretty early. You could get that quick if you wanted. But yeah, just a big pain in the butt, that quest. So that's separate from the binding to get your incubus. So at 20, you can do. So I guess if you're a warlock and you're being a completionist, don't do like I did, where I had already done those dungeons and I came back and done that later. Then I had to re-go and do Black Fathom Deeps. It was a pain in the butt.
What can I help you with?
Not a pleasant experience. All right, where were we on our leatherworking? Let's check that out. So we're at 70. I think we have to get all the way up to 80. These cloaks can take 5 each. The bracers 6. None of them are good, so I think we're still working on the gloves. 5 more, we can do that. So we need a total of 10 more coarse threads. Let's just take a peek there. Work out my dying right-click button. Okay, so if we have to get up to 80, which I kind of feel like we do, at least we have enough to do that. So after just starting Silverpine, with all this werewolf killing, at least it's getting us up there. Now, what are our recipes? I said 95, 100, and I think we have a third somewhere. Yeah, 90. So we've got to get to at least 90 to even use some of these recipes we've been buying, because we are behind.
What are you looking for?
I don't even know that we can make. Can we make light hide? We can't. No. Yeah, we can make cured light hide. It's not worth any points. I should have done that first. It might have been worth points in the beginning. I guess I'll buy the salt to make it. Or what is the point? What do I need? I guess I'm waiting for something to even require light hide. And then we'll go that route with it, I guess. Okay, so let's look at that. We're at 75, though, so that there is one thing we can do, which is we can talk to the journeyman leatherworker. She can teach us the embossed leather pants. And then he can teach us.
The twists and turns of Orgrimmar are designed to thwart invaders.
Oh, we've already learned.
Can you imagine how quickly one of those puny gnomes would get lost in here? Ha! If it was lucky, I'd track it down and keep it as a pet.
Oh, I guess because at 50 you can get it. So we already have journeyman.
May your blades
so we just picked up the embossed leather pants. I have a feeling they're not. Yeah, they take the cured leather hide though, and 6 leatherworking. 65. Yeah, so they're not as good as what we have. Those gloves are still rocking it though, so we can make the gloves for 5 more levels. But first, let's look at some more quests. All right, so now Love Hurts is, I guess, an alternate form of this. Okay, Love Hurts. This is the Horde beginning to this. It's a 3-step process, whereas I think it's only 2 for the Alliance, just like last time. So Love Hurts is to speak with Magar and Orgrimmar. A Sayad male is known as an incubus, a creature of profound evil and singular mind. The demon must be lured into our world with an item of enticement, an object that represents great love and devotion. If you trust a blind man to lead you, then listen. East from the Cleft of Shadow along the main drag of Orgrimmar lies Magar. He longs for the return of his mate, Krilge. Seek him out. He'll ask you to search for something precious. That is the key which you must bring to Gunrul. Who told you about Krilge? Have you come with any news? You better not be toying with me. And that gives you... I wish you were here, but this says it was added in the hardcore patch. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you can do this. I don't know if we did this. I definitely have this on my Alliance character. That's weird. It says added in hardcore. This is the Horde version. I'm not sure. Okay, so let's look back. What is love? Hearts of the Lovers, and Wish You Were Here. So Wish You Were Here, it says investigate the fallen sky lake in Ashenvale and report your findings to Genrul, Bloodeye, and Orgrimmar, which gives you the withered scarf. I met Krilge while making mooncloth in Ashenvale. He was stationed there to protect civilians from danger until he disappeared. They've stopped looking for him and consider him a deserter, but I don't believe it. We would often meet at Fallen Sky Lake before it became overrun by those aggressive bog beasts. I'm not typically one to ask favors, but if you go to Ashenvale and look for any sign of him, I'd appreciate it. Yes, what is it? What is it you have there? A scarf made of mooncloth? You best not be seeking to romance me. Okay, so I guess the bog beasts drop it? weird. Yeah, and it says some of these guys are level 30s that you have to kill, which is weird. And that will take you to the binding. This is for Horde. Horde, specifically Orc. If you go this path, using the Withered Scarf, summon and subdue an Incubus, then return the Withered Scarf. This is going to be similar to all of them. Yes, I feel the residual emotions bound within these threads. Love is woven into its stitches. The Incubus will not be able to resist. Take this to the summoning circle in Niru's tent. Summon forth a malevolent Incubus, then show it your mastery. Do not expect it to be subdued quietly. Ready your magic and prepare yourself for a fight. Underestimating a demon has been many a warlock's final mistake. When you've defeated it, return the cloth to me. I'll let Magar know what you found. The Syad are dominators of minds and torturers of souls. Their visage brings the heart joy, leaving you defenseless when they rend your flesh with whip and claw. Do not entertain the Incubus's charms. Slay it quickly and let it be done. Then you'll get a second pouch. So either if you just do one chain, you'll still get your pouch. But if you do both, you do get 2 12-slot shard bags. If for whatever reason you don't care about inventory space and you'd prefer to have 24 shard bags, you have that path. So What is Love is another option. I don't know if that's Horde or it's Alliance. So this is the Alliance path. See, again, it says it was added in hardcore, but you can do this. So this is not true. Retrieve the wooden figurine and bring it to Gakin the Darkbinder in the Mage Quarter of Stormwind. You'll need a powerful reagent to tempt an Incubus, an object that represents great devotion and love. With my scrying, I've located a small figurine that should be suitable for your ritual. Thousands of years ago, the figurine belonged to a young couple. The original owners are no more, but their keepsake has survived to the present day. Follow the road north into Ashenvale, then west and past Maestro's Post. You'll see a house nestled amongst the trees, and you'll find what you seek. You've returned successfully, I assume. Gakin turns the wooden figurine over in his hand. I sense the emotional energy residing within this artifact, undiminished by the passing of time. The Incubus will be drawn to it like a fly to honey. Takar never disappoints. So you have to travel farther, but it's easy, I think, because it's just a snatch and grab. Oops. And if you look at where you get this wooden figurine, I was trying to see. Oh my gosh, this has got to stop this. I know it. I know. Yeah, it's not really showing me where, but it sounds like it's like exactly what they described. So the binding you would get from this says the time has come. Take the figurine and descend into the crypts below. A summoning circle has been prepared, and you must place the figurine at its center. Then the gateway will open, and the Incubus will cross into our world. Siyad is not to be underestimated. The demon will not hesitate to attack when it realizes your ruse. You must draw upon all you've been taught to defeat it. If you succeed, return to me, and I shall bind the creature to your will. Fail, and your soul is forfeit. The Incubus will try to lower your guard through beguilement and deception. The demon is adept at swaying the hearts of mortals. Remember that anything it may offer you is false. To the demon, you are merely prey. Not bad, you've bested the fiend, and your will remains unbroken. Many a warlock has believed themselves strong enough to bind to Sayad, only to become the demon's next meal instead. I'm pleased to see you are not so foolish. Watch closely, and I'll teach you the invocation to call upon your newly bound Incubus. Okay, and finally, if we did, probably the Forsaken version is called Hearts of the Lovers. This is the one we did on camera. So if you do Forsaken, you're basically, I spelled lovers wrong. You're basically doing 4 hearts because we already got those other 2 hearts. So you're getting 2 more, Avelina's and Isaac's hearts. You have to bring the hearts of Avelina Lily and Isaac Pearson to Kerindin Helgar in the Temple of the Damned. Arguably, this is the hardest path to take. It's definitely the most time-consuming. An Incubus will be drawn to the hearts of the lovers, and the most aching love will create the most irresistible lure. A scrying has revealed 2. See, it's a different heart found in there instead of down at the wall. And then this one's found somewhere in Ratchet. So not quite as hard as the other one. 2 that should serve exceptionally. In Silverpine Forest, Avelina Lily provides her tailoring services to the fallen wizards at Ambermill. Yeah, I think you have to kill her. I think I remember doing that. She's neutral in a house. You have to kill her. In the Barrens, Isaac Pearson hopes to make his mark in the seaside town of Ratchet. They toil on opposite ends of the world, yet their hearts yearn only for each other. Bring those hearts to Corendon. Ah, you return. Were you able to procure the lovers' hearts? As expected, excellently done. And then you get the Forsaken binding. The time has come at last. Bring the hearts to the summoning circle below, place them at its center, and call forth the incubus. The demon will not be pleased when it realizes that you have tempted it into a trap. Do not fall prey to its beguilement. You must subdue it fully. Only then can I teach you the spell to bind it to your will. The incubus possesses martial prowess, but its illusory charms are its most potent weapon. Yeah, basically it's stun. Falter for even a moment, and the demon will seize upon the opportunity to enthrall you. Do not let it. Impressive. Very impressive. The Syad specialize in preying upon mortals. Many a warlock has thought themselves strong enough to command one, only to find themselves being commanded instead. This trial did not break you, and your efforts have earned your reward. I'll teach you the spell to summon the incubus. So as we craft our final leatherworking stuff here, why would you do that? Well, I guess cosmetically, sure. There's a valid argument to say cosmetically, maybe you prefer the boy instead of the girl. Totally fine. And it does look cool. It doesn't have the, if you're into, female characters, sex symbols instead, it would not have the same appeal at all. But he's also kind of funny with the, he makes that whip cracking sound, and I use one with my gnome, with my wife, just because I think it's funny, and then I don't have to worry about, my wife thinking succubus is inappropriate or whatever. I mean, it's a game. She's fine, but... Alright, these embossed leather gloves are still rocking at 80. So, that's good to know. We now have to talk to the expert, though.
The twists and turns of Orgrimmar are designed to thwart invaders. Can you imagine how quickly one of those puny gnomes would get lost in here?
So the belt is...
If it was lucky, I'd track it down and keep it as a pet.
6. It's not even worth it. This is... We are really building... 37. 1 point better. I guess I'm just going to let it chill, but we are really... working these gloves. Because they're going to take us all the way up to 85. Okay. Yeah, what did I say? 85 is what we... No, we need 90. Alright, that's alright. We know we'll get more from Silverpine. Well, I would be remiss if I didn't say what was the actual real best reason for picking the Incubus. And that is, they changed this either with Wrath of the Lich King or Burning Crusade. They caught it. But the Incubus technically costs a little bit less mana to summon than the Succubus. So if you're truly min-maxing in every sense of the word, considering they're in all other ways equal, you would want to take the Incubus because of that small oversight that it costs less mana to summon. Alright, so now we still have to look at the Warrior questline. Okay, we've completed Warlock, all the bindings. Now, this is a small one that'll happen at 25. It's really just, it says it's a Noble Brew is the prereq. A Noble Brew is a 2-step quest that we will do. Half of it's in Duskwood, half of it's in Wetlands. We did it on camera before. But if you complete it as a Warlock, there's a third quest, because you essentially make a poison and you assassinate a Noble in Stormwind. Well, there's a third quest that then the Warlock kind of group in the Slaughtered Lamb basement, they give you an extra little fist bump for doing it. All right. Warrior quests. This is really going to focus on getting your Fury form and probably associated weapons. Obviously, it's kind of long because we have Horde and Alliance version. So we're going to look at both. So we're going to look at Speak with Ruga. And then we're just going to break this up as best we can. So this is the Horde beginning of this quest line. So anyone can give you this. The starting could be Torm Rage Totem, Sorak, Baltus Fowler, but they all give the same text, which is, you are a warrior of skill and growing renown. Perhaps you're ready for Ruga Rage Totem's trial. If so, then find Ruga and Camp Tarajo in the Barrens. He awaits those warriors who answer his call. So there are 3 technical Horde versions of this. Actually, yeah. And they all send you out to the Barrens, where he says, "You are here for my trial, warrior." Whereas if you, or he says your name. Whereas if you begin as an alliance person, it is Yoris Barley Brew. Actually, we should duplicate this tab so we can look right in here. Yoris Barley Brew. Okay, so this is the alliance version. The quest line is probably about as long, but it's a little bit different. So again, this starts either from Kelv Sternhammer, Wu Shen in Stormwind, or Darnath Bladesinger. They're all the weapon trainers that give you these. And they say, Yoris Barley Brew has raised a challenge to all able warriors of the Alliance. He awaits at the Lakeshore Inn in Redridge and pledges a grand reward to anyone able to pass his trial. I actually have not played an Alliance warrior. I don't think in my whole classic runs I have one, so I've not done this chain. Ha, so you heard of my challenge, did you? Yeah, I don't think I've ever played a classic Alliance warrior, so that's, if I have to run another thing, that's something to consider. And then he wants to send you there. Okay, so let's continue our walk a little bit. What we're doing right now is we're walking to the Shaman trainer so that we can learn moves. As we kind of break this up and look at the warrior stuff. Now, for the Shaman things, I really don't think there's going to be much because there's no Alliance side. The only thing that might get us is the limited options we have. See, they have the Call of Water for us right there. We'll look at that. There might be more than one version. Take a peek in a minute. All right, so Trial at the Field of Giants is the second Horde version, whereas the second Alliance version is the Wrathband Gauntlet. So, for the Horde, you're going to bring 5 twitching antenna to Ruga Rage Totem at Camp Tarajo. You just go down and kill the Silithid. At level 20, it's still not that tough. To pass this trial, you must travel south to the Field of Giants. There you will find a host of crawling insect creatures. They are new to the Barrens, and I do not like what they herald. Bring me their still twitching antennae and waste no time, for harvested antennae will not twitch for long. Yeah, you do have a timer. Yeah, 30-minute timer to do this quest. Bring me the antennae in the time allowed, and you will pass the trial. Do you have the antennae? If so, give them to me quickly, for twitching antennae do not twitch forever. Nicely done. In passing the trial at the Field of Giants, you take one more step down the warrior's path, and you get Ruga's Bulwark, which is a nice shield that gives a little strength bonus if you happen to be a tank. If you're using two-handers, it's not much. At 20, I don't believe you can dual wield. Whereas he gives you the Wrathband Gauntlet. Enter the Wrathband Caverns, which I believe is like right there, because that's where you get the Wrathband ore from. Reach the first fork and return to Yoris Barley Brew within the time allowed. You must not die and release your spirit. Explore the zone. Enter the Wrathband Caverns. So I call my challenge the Wrathband Gauntlet. To pass the trial, all you must do is enter the Wrathband Caverns to the first fork, then return here. Easy, except there are a few wrinkles. You have to return within an hour, so you have twice as much time. That's way so much. There are whole heaps of Redridge knolls in the way, that's true. Before you start, you have to take a swig of my family's signature drink, Barley Brew Scalder, so you have to do this drunk. So what do you say? The Wrathband Caverns are in the foothills north of Lakeshore? I kind of like this. Are you ready to run the Wrathband Gauntlet? Time is wasting. If I were you, I'd get going. You made it. Well done. 3 cheers for you. Okay. So, meanwhile, let's look at the Call of Water.
Be in your future, mun. I see you be strong in the ways of fire already, and me thinking you be ready to talk to Islan. Islan live along the coast of the Barrens. If you head south along the South Fury River, you canna miss her. Look for the big shark. She be strong in the ways of the elements and can teach you the ways of water if you think you be ready. She be easy to find, just don't go too far south. She be just beyond Ratchet.
It seems like maybe they have updated the voiceover and they're trying to give you a a voice for that. Now we do have to kind of look here at Call of Water. So this is Call of Water 1 we've just picked up. The Call of Water chain begins right here. It's a 9-step chain plus a Sapta, so 10 total quests. Now we picked up the one here in geez Louise. We picked up the one in Orgrimmar. So if you look at it, if you see there are 4 versions That's the one we just read. But if you look at the other versions, it says so if you pick this up from the person that trains shamans in Thunderbluff, it would say, long has it been since you were last tested. You've shown patience thus far in your studies, but the time has come for you to learn more. The time has come for you to learn about the purity of water. Seek out Island Water Seer in the Barrens. She's along the eastern coast south of the South Fury River in Ratchet. You'll find her there at the fishing hut. Good luck to you. Now, the completion will be the same no matter what. Okay, if you pick this up in... Okay, it's kind of glitching out. I don't know why it doesn't want to lead that to me. Okay, so that one's fine. This one, there we go. Now it's loading. You could actually pick it up from a person at Razor Hill. They can send you over there from Swart. So I guess there's maybe a shaman trainer in Razor Hill. You look ready for your next test. You've been patient in your studies, but the time has come for you to learn more. The time has come for you to learn about the purity of water. Seek out Island Water Seer in the Barrens. She's along the eastern coast, south of the South Fury River. You find her at the fishing hut. Good luck to you. Okay, so that, and then the last part I'm guessing is, oh, if you can pick it up from the Bloodhoof Village, if you happen to still be messing around at level 20 in these areas. Long has it been since you were last tested. You've shown patience thus far in your studies, but the time has come for you to learn more. The time has come for you to learn about the purity of water. Seek out Island Water Seer in the Barrens. She's along the eastern coast, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and notice there are nothing in the Forsaken. You're not going to be able to pick up this quest if you go that way. Okay, so Speak with Thungrim and the Shieldsmith are our next two. So this would open... The third step in this chain is called Speak with Thungrim if you're Horde. Thungrim Firegaze, an orc blacksmith of renown, has heard of your continued deeds of valor in service of the Horde. He would like to fashion for you a suit of armor and bid you speak with him immediately. Thungrim is camped east of the crossroads in the Barrens. Yes, you've come. This is good, for we have much to discuss, you and I. Whereas this guy directs you to the Shieldsmith. Bring the Cask of Skulder to Furin Longbeard back in Stormwind in the Dwarven District. You really showed what you were made of when you ran the Wrathband Gauntlet, and I'm true to my word. I'll get you the reward I promise, except it's in Stormwind. Talk to my friend Furin Longbeard in the Dwarven District of Stormwind. He's the best shieldsmith you'll ever meet, and he owes me a big favor. Here, take Furin this cast of Barley Brew Skulder and ask him for a shield. He'll give you a nice one. Hello, dry times, don't you think? Ah, Barley Brew Skulder. Great stuff. So you've been to see Yoris, eh? I can get you a shield? Yes, sir. You won't find a better one, and that's no lying. Same stats, different thing. It's a 7 block plus 3 strength shield. I didn't look at the armor, so the armor might be different, but it's probably about the same. So you just have to do one extra step to get your shield, but you're, all things being told, you were winding at the same destination here, so... Alright, so now let's go walk over to our actual shaman trainer. Here's one right here. Okay. Start picking up powers for level 20. Okay, so we can upgrade our flame shock. Let's take a look there. So, upgrading the old flame shock to level 2. Now it does 47 to 48 over 12. So it almost doubles its amount of power, so that's good. And we can also pick up Stone Claw Totem. This is all elemental we're getting. This costs 22 each. We should have enough to get everything. So this is, again, elemental. Stone Claw Totem is our taunt. Right now it has 86 health. And it's going up to 156, so it's getting twice as durable. That's nice, because 86 would be one-shotted by a lot of things. We also upgrade, or we gain Frost Shock. So we don't have this. Frost Shock is a decent damage, 95 damage. So it's a nice way to kind of burst a one-shot thing. It does take... It right now, it out-damages our Earth Shock. So I think we keep that. That's an interrupt, though. More importantly, this is a slow. So if they try to run, or you know they're going to run soon, you can weave this into the rotation. So now you have 3 options. Just all-out damage, interrupt, or slow.
Don't be
And if you look at mana cost, well, this is a dot, so it's damage. Well, it does do that. So 95, 85, 115. So right now, Earthshock's actually our cheapest one. Okay, Lightning Bolt. Upgrading Lightning Bolt.
Now.
Okay, so our current lightning bolt, which we don't ever use, 48 to 57, now going 85 to... So it's also almost doubling. I don't like to have... I don't care about proc. Maybe if I get later in game. And we'll also upgrade our searing totem. So that's all of our elemental stuff, which is our least important, actually, in this thing. So our searing totem now will go 35 seconds to up to 17 damage. So it lasts 5 seconds longer, and it does like 50% more damage. The seconds longer is almost more important. That is good. All right, back to looking at quests. So our next line is Brutal Armor or Find Hardened Mail. So they want to kit us out. So Brutal Armor is his last one. This is a tough one. This is what will make you sit in your inventory a long time if you're not just seeking it out. Okay. I've heard tales of your strength and valor, this is the Horde version, and wish to make for you a suit of armor, a companion to aid you as tales of your great deeds grow. But the fashioning of this armor will be a quest unto itself. I will need your help, and the help of other smiths of the Horde. We're also, by the way, we're halfway through this video already. Here, take this scroll. I spent many nights struggling with near blind eyes, writing that which I need for the armor. Bring me the items on this scroll, and I will create for you the first piece of the suit. So he does give you this scroll that has all the ingredients. It's annoying. Do you have the items on my scroll? You brought all that I asked. Now I'll do my part. Okay. So he requires 15 smoky iron ingots. Smoky iron ingots, let's just take a peek where they're got from. They're dropped from these wind shear diggers and stuff, all found within Stone Talon. So you have to go back and grind that out by fighting kobolds in the Stone Talon Mountain. Okay. You also need powdered azurite. Powdered azurite is only found on Hillsbrad miners in the Hillsbrad foothills. So you have to travel there. Neither of these things are hard. You need 10 iron bars, which you can mine yourself, or go buy them. But the most tough thing, you need the vial of phlogiston, which is dropped by Rugug, a very early, right in the dungeon, but a little boss inside Razorfen Crawl. So that's quite a challenge of things that you have to do. Okay, whereas you get Fire Hardened Mail as an Alliance person, same list, a long list of ingredients. So I gave you a nice shield, but we don't have to stop there. I know the secrets to make extremely hard mail armor. It's not easy and it takes very rare materials, but if you're willing to do the legwork, then I'll make a piece for you. What do you say? If you're up for the challenge, then I'll give you a list of what to get and where to get them. So, how goes the scavenger hunt? Do you have the materials? And he gives you a list as well. This Furin's instructions. Actually, we could look at that. You got it all? Amazing. I was afraid those chimeras would eat you up for sure. Well, let's get started on that armor. Before we look at this, let's look at the Thungrim's instructions. So, it says, below are the items needed to create your armor. Smoky iron ingots from the Windshear kobolds in the Windshear mine in the Stone Talon Mountains. Powdered azurite from the Hillsbrad miners in Hillsbrad, iron bars from miners, or from iron ore deposits if you are a miner, vial of phlogiston from a quillbore named Rugug in Razorfen Crawl. Okay, whereas this one, rather than me telling it to you, let's just read the instructions. And this is a 5-page one. In the following pages, you'll find a list of the materials necessary to make fire-hardened armor. Good luck, warrior. Furin Longbeard. Furin. Scorched spider fangs. The incendicite ore that is found in a cave near the vicinity of Thelgen Rock has scorched the spiders that dwell there, so that's the wetlands thing. The venom in their fangs boils and reacts with the fangs themselves to create a very tough substance. I like that he's giving us we need 50 of those fangs. I like that he's giving us a justification, a logic behind it. Charred horns, much like the scorched spider fangs, the charred horns of the chimera that reside in the charred vale in the Stone Talon Mountains on Kalimdor possess a much prized quality. Pounded, flat, and properly treated, they become extremely resilient to physical stress, so that's why we need 12 of those. That's why they fly around that area. Galvanized horn. The rare galvanized horn's toughness is the linchpin of the entire piece of armor I will create, and so it too must be procured. It may be gained from the rare Chimera Matriarch in the Charred Vale. Much easier. You don't have to do a dungeon for that one. Oh, but you do need the Vial of Phlogiston also. You just don't need the iron bars, so you don't have to go to the auction house. So I don't know which I would say is harder. Vial of phlogiston. The last stage of creating the armor will require an extremely hot forge. I'd say I'd rather not buy the iron bars. To produce the needed level of heat, I must have a vial of phlogiston. The only known maker of the substance is the fabled quillboar Rugug, and he will not give it up without a fight. Rugug dwells deep in Razorfen Crawl in the southern barrens. So, a pain in the butt to get this hardened mail, and if you don't do it right away, it's not even worth it.
Hello, man.
All right, let's look at that's our elemental. Let's look at our various enhancement. We are spending a ton of gold. So, Flame Tongue Weapon is an upgrade.
Spirits be with you, man.
So this is only usable for us when we're in a dungeon. This would give us up to 21.5 extra damage from 17.6. Really not that much extra for almost double the mana. So that's lame. I mean, except that whatever, it's still overall
Don't be
cheap.
shy.
It's a buff, so any upgrade is better. We also now get Frostbrand Weapon. So this is a new one. Each hit does up to 35 additional frost damage and slows. So this is better. Overall, this is better than Firebrand. Each hit. Oh, the difference is that this one is, each one only has a
Be
chance.
good.
So I would still say I like that better than Firebrand if I'm in a dungeon. I like the ability to slow. It's just that this is every hit. Each one only has a chance of proccing. So my guess is Flame Tongue is going to be better for straight DPS. But if you're interested in straight DPS, then Rockbiter Weapon should be your go-to. Anyway, this is just Rockbiter is just DPS with threat. That's just straight DPS. You sacrifice some DPS, but you get rid of the threat. Okay, and then we gain Ghost Wolf form. Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Bye
Thank
bye now.
goodness. Ghost Wolf form. That is the bee's knees. Alright, I don't even know where I want to put this. Because it's going to be used all the time. I guess I'll put it right there. So now we can finally, outdoors, use our Ghost Wolf form. Amazing. Alright. So the next step is the Brutal Hallberg and Firen's armor. We're getting the things that they actually promised us. So I'm sure you endured much hardship and shed much blood on my task. Here is the product of your toil. May you wear it well, and may you one day return here with stories of its service to you. And so this is a 218 armor, 5 strength, 14 stamina, and with a 1 hour cooldown, it has an ability to fill your rage up a little bit. So it's not bad at all, but it is overshadowed by other things, even if you go so far and do Razorfen Crawl, which is what's kind of annoying. Okay, whereas this unlocks Firen's armor. Here is your armor. This will stand up to the strongest assaulter. My name isn't Firen Longbeard, and I have to thank you. I learned a lot while working with the materials you brought me. I think I'll have another breakthrough one day. I'm going to send what I learned to other blacksmiths of the Alliance. I'll tell them you were a big help, and maybe they'll want to return the favor. So the fire-hardened Hallberg, if you look at it, is exactly the same. Okay, let's look at our last powers. Our Resto, which on this character actually matters a lot. So we will upgrade Healing Wave up to 321, because right now that is doubling our Healing Wave, which is good, because it's been kind of cheeks. So doubling our Healing Wave power is good. And what else do we have here? I like to learn all the moves. I know strategically if you want to save up for a mount, you shouldn't do that. I don't care. I like to have it. Tremor Totem. This is actually a nice totem. It's an earth totem. It can be very useful. You put it on the ground, it lasts 2 minutes, and then it's going to constantly remove fear, charm, and sleep effects. So that is a very useful, especially like, for instance, it could make you not need, it enters part of our earth totem stuff. But it could be very good if you needed, say, yeah, it's like the Fear Ward for the Dwarf Priest, except easier to use, and it's a big reason why I would imagine in some dungeon and raid mechanics, Shaman are just amazing. It's really, really OP. Now we finally gain Lesser Healing Wave, which is basically like the Paladin's Flash of Light. It's a 100, not much cheaper. So at 1.5 second cast, 105. So it's half the time for half the healing. Actually, a little bit more than half the healing. But it doesn't cost half the mana. So it's more mana intensive. But it does give us another option. So it gives us a faster healing option. It's just, more mana intensive over time. But in the heat of a battle, it might be better if you really need to try to snap that heal off fast. Okay. And it does cost less in the moment. So looking at the next chain, now what happens is you can now approach all of these different characters with basically to say, I want your piece, because now they can build you out a full kit, and of course each one is going to give you a little quest to do it. So first we'll start with whatever, Orm, Stonehoof, and the Brutal Helm. So we'll start by getting the Helm, which is actually good because Helms are still kind of rare at this level, very rare. So the one that goes along with the Helm is Grimand Elmore. He's the one that does the Helm. So speak with Orm, Stonehoof, and Thunder Bluff. Orm Stonehoof is respected greatly for his skill. He will make for you the Brutal Helm. Seek him out in Thunder Bluff, near the pool by the city's great central totem. Greetings, warrior. I am Orm. And Thungrims tells me you wish a helm made. Whereas Grimand will say, you bring his notes, a sealed letter. I made a copy of my notes on the techniques I learned while making your armor, and I need them sent to Grimand Elmore. He's here in the Dwarven District in the weapon shop. So for one, you've got to go travel from Barrens to Thunder Bluff. The other one, you just have to go next door. And Duck, when you give these to him, he's fiercely proud of his skills and won't like the idea of learning something from me. Hello and well met. How might I be of service to you? Furin wrote this? How dare he? Why, I taught him everything he knows. To think he could teach me something is outrageous. Outrageous! But there is something in his notes I'd like to try. Okay, so we're now going to go... We have to be pursuing our Call of Water, which wants us to go seek Island out in the Barrens. So we're going to fly to the crossroads. Actually, we're going to fly to Ratchet. So we need to go to... I should have went down a little bit differently. Let's try out our Ghost Wolf form. Yes. We need to go to the flight path so that we can fly to Ratchet. We did spend... we're down to less than a gold. That was a very expensive level up, but 20 is a big one. We're also going to be gaining some stuff from getting the water totem at 20, which is awesome. I don't even know. I think we gained some moves for free. And we also gained our two-handed axe and mace. So if we can find any two-handed axes or maces, we're going to be in good shape. Oh, there's the... I think you can walk over here to the flight path. Yeah. While we fly to Ratchet, we'll take a peek at some more of these quests on this warrior quest line.
What do you haven't lived until you've looked down on the world from the back of the Wind Rider.
Alright, so he will give us Chimeric Horn. So now you need the galvanized horn, but you need it from him instead of like the same one the Alliance does. I will make you the helm, but you must show me you are worthy of it. Nestled in the northwestern reaches of the Stone Talon Mountains, there lies the Charred Vale. It was once a verdant place, but is now defiled and ashen, and what creatures remain there are mad with pain and despair. That place is where I send you. You must go to the Charred Vale and find a Chimera matriarch, slay her, free her of her misery, bring me her galvanized horn as proof, and I shall make for you the helm. Do you have the horn? Is the matriarch free of pain? You have completed your task, and shown me your worth and resolve. The helm will be yours. And I didn't even click the fact that this... Oh, it does. Okay, so we're on this one. Whereas this guy, we need Burning Blood. Okay. So I used to admit that Furin might have really found something, or I hate to admit, but to be sure, I'll need to try out his techniques on a new piece of armor. If you help me with the materials, then you can have the armor. To make this armor, I need samples of Burning Blood and a Burning Rock. The only place I know to get them is Duskwood. The Nightbane Worgen, based in the south in Roland's Doom mine, have burning blood, and their leader Gutspill will have the rock. That's why Gutspill appears there. He's tied to this quest. May fortune grant you speed. Do you have the burning blood and rock? I'll need them to complete the armor. Nice work. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some work to do myself. Okay, now that opens up the brutal helm. If you are completing the Horde one, I give this helm to you. Great deeds brought you to me, and Earth Mother willing, even greater deeds lie before you. And the burning helm is 163 armor with agility and stamina. So this is a very good one, especially for any arms, any DPS warrior. Whereas Grimman's armor, it looks totally different. I can hardly believe it. Furin's technique was a success, and this armor should withstand tremendous levels of stress. Here you are, and thank you. I wouldn't have believed Furin's discovery if you hadn't gathered the materials I needed to test it myself. And same thing, just has a different graphic. So now we're going to go over to Ula Elec and the Brutal Gauntlets and Clockwork Spanner Span. So basically, the Horde, the Barons, give us the armor, whereas Stormwind does it. And then Stormwind also gives us the helmet, whereas the Thunderbluff gives us the helmet on the Horde one. Because it's like by race. So now we're going to Ula Elec and the Brutal Gauntlets. And we're going to... What was the other one? I already forgot. Clockwork Spanner Span. So a gnome. It sounds like a gnome to me. So you can see, we did land. So now back to Ghost Wolf form. Now we're going to take, we haven't spent our time out here in the Barrens. This is our next zone we're going to explore. But we are going to go ahead and do the Call of Water. We're going to travel over there. Oh my gosh, having Ghost Wolf form is such a nice improvement. I don't think we're going to finish very much of this chain just because this warrior chain is so long. The nice thing is there's no alternate lines for the Call of Water. We don't have to read anything else. It's all just now completing this chain on camera. We just won't... We're not going to get super far in it. You can see Island already right there. She's out there on this little peninsula. And we have to look up... yeah, so based on everything that's happened so far, we're going to probably have 6 more quests for each. Maybe 12. I mean, total of 12. Maybe a finale thing at the end. But essentially at 20, we're not gaining anything special. We're just gaining a suit of armor. Which is OP if you get it right at level 20. But I'm going to tell you, like, I did this quest chain much later, probably closer to level 30 on my Horde character, and nothing was worth it. Not a single thing. So none of it is gear that's going to go the distance. It's just not going to happen. Okay. Let's go back and look at this first step. So, Ula Elec and the Brutal Gauntlets. The Trollsmith Ula Elec will craft for you the Brutal Gauntlets in Sen'jin village with his Darkspear brethren, and he awaits your coming. So you've got to walk all the way down to Sen'jin. You're going from the mountain down... Well, you'll pick them all up at once. Greetings. Old Thungrim sent word to me of your coming, but had he kept silent, your presence here would not have surprised me. The spirits follow your progress, young warrior, and they tell me that many foes have fallen before you. Whereas Clockmore says... I made a copy of my notes on the techniques I learned while making your armor. I need someone to take them to Clockmort Spanner Span. He's a gnomish blacksmith in Ironforge, and when he learns what I've learned, I bet he'll pull off his own beard in excitement. So again, you're just taking the tram over there, way less annoying. Good day, or morning, or evening, I can't tell from way down here. So do you have business for me? Oh my, these notes are amazing, and what's more, I'm sure they're sealed, yeah. They're incredible, and they're stupendous, and they make my knees go all wobbly. Furin had a breakthrough, a real breakthrough. I can't wait to try out his new technique. All right, so we're going to turn this in and pick up step 2.
You've come further than many, adventurer. Respect the elements around you, and you shall fare far greater than most.
The wind approaches you quickly from the horizon. The earth is steady beneath your feet, and your spirit is already warmed by fire. I would say it is time for you to learn about the purity of water. Your path has led you this far, and your spirit will give you the strength to carry on even further. But the first step is yours to take.
Basically a bender.
If there is one lesson you must learn of water, it is this. Water means rebirth. Its power flows, erodes, and makes clean all manner of things. You will find its ability to heal and replenish incomparable, but only when it is pure. When you understand that water, when polluted, can devastate all that it touches, you will appreciate how vital a resource it is. If you wish the water Sapta, find brine deep in southern barrens. Her home is continually molested by the quill boar there.
Gotta hate being continually molested. So basically, I would say, if we're looking at this, Earth is more enhancement focused so far. Fire is DPS focused, and although it's not clean cut like this, and water is resto. Wind is then, what do you do with that? Well, we know wind is OP. It's definitely enhancement focused. Alright, so before we get going to walk down to Brine, the next step is Satyr Hooves, so now we're down here, versus Iron Coral. Okay. I can make you a pair of brutal gauntlets, and great magic will they hold, but first you must collect this magic and bring it to me. The satyrs dwell in northeastern Ashenvale because of the forest's power. They feed off its purity, leeching and corrupting. This is where you go to get all those horns. You can tell which satyrs these have drawn the most of Ashenvale's magic by their swollen, uncloven hooves. These hooves hold great power, and I'll need them for your gauntlets crafting. Do you have the hooves? The magic within them is strong. Ah, you have them. Now, just as the satyrs leech the strength of Ashenvale, I will leech the power held within these hooves and harness it into my crafting. Okay, and here you need 20 loads of searing coral. I want to try Furin Longbeard's new techniques on my own piece of armor, and because you helped Furin and he helped me, you're welcome to the armor after I make it. To finish the piece, I need a special coral, searing coral. It grows only in one place along the coast south of Menethil Harbor in the wetlands. Bring me enough searing coral, and I'll get right to work on the armor. And hurry, I'm so eager to get started it's making my toes twist. Hello, hello, do you have the searing coral? I can't wait to get to work. That's the stuff. Well done. Now give me this smelted and hammered so I can apply Furin's technique of my own, and then we can see what happens. Oh my, I just know the armor will be very, very, very tough. Where do you even get, I mean, is it, so it's just found in the water south of wetland. Yeah, you just go pick it out of the water there. Again, easier for sure. And you can just quickly fly right over there. That's just ridiculous. Sorry, Horde, you get shafted on this quest line. Alright, so now we gotta walk all the way down there. Actually, we can fly to Camp Dorajo first. Spend a little bit more of our diminishing money. We can fly to Camp Dorajo and then walk the rest of the way as we get the searing gauntlet. So starting out the water chain here, and then doing, I think we did our fishing to 100 yet, and then reading all, the rest of the Warlock, and now reading all the Warrior quests, because there's a ton at 20. This is really, this is taking up another episode, which I already knew it would, based on how the time went last time, but at least we're kind of mixing it up by going out and about in the world and not just, we gained our level up, that's cool, we're going to get another totem, also cool. We need to go back to Silver Pine eventually and turn in those quests. That would be nice, get some of that out of our bag. I could use some better bags. What's our bag sitch like? Yeah, we're still, we do have one 8-slot bag. Great. Alright, so we're flying to Camp Dorajo. Do I need anything in the bank while I'm here? Since this is a... Sure.
Time is money, friend.
Okay, so I can put those pearls in there also. And these tiger's eyes. And those. I would put all these gems in there, I think. The gems aren't doing me a lot of good. Murloc scale I kind of want to keep. So we'll have to know, like, hey, we've got... We actually have some of this stuff. If we start crafting it, and I wonder, do I have any of these low-level gems? The answer is yes.
Time is money, friend.
Okay, so we're just flying over down to Camp Dorajo. A couple more silver. Alright, so the next one would be the Brutal Gauntlets and Clockmork's creation. So this says, thank you. These gauntlets are my best work. Take them. In wearing them, you bring honor to me and my ancestors. They're 6 strength, 6 stamina, 126 gauntlets. Very good for a DPS or a tank. In Clockmork's creation, here is your armor. Furin's process worked brilliantly, perfectly, marvelously, truly. You could run this armor over with a siege engine and it would spring right back into shape. Same thing, again, they just have a different look. Do they even have, no, they have the same graphic. They're just called something different, Firehardened Gauntlets. All right, so the next step in the chain would get us near the end. We have three quests left, so there isn't a finale. Valora, Knightly, and Malthael. So we're going to go back to pick Valora Knightly. This is the one that's in the Undercity. It is said that before her death, Valora Knightly was one of the finest armor smiths in Lordaeron. Death, it seems, has not decreased her talents. Speak with Valora, she'll make your brutal leg guards. Valora plies her trade in the Undercity of Lordaeron in the Trade Quarter. You're here for leg armor? Great. Am I making the armor for you, or are you making it for me? That was a joke. Was it funny? I can't tell. I lost my sense of humor at the same time I lost my sense of smell, which was about the same time I stopped breathing. Whereas him, we're going to Malthael, probably a night elf, would be my guess. I made a copy of my notes on the techniques I learned while making your armor, and I need them sent to the blacksmith Malthael. He lives in Darnassus, which is quite a long way off, but I'm sure he'll be very grateful from what I've learned. So for the leg guards for both your continent hopping. I bid you greeting, warrior. These are interesting. Very interesting indeed. My dwarven colleague Furin has made quite a grand discovery. Thank you. It will be an honor to apply this new technique to my own crafting. Oh, we're still flying. All right, so the next step is Dragon Maul Shinbones versus Sun-Scorched Shells, and I've accidentally capitalized this. This is good. It's like an editing process. So, for the Horde, to make the brutal leg guards, I need a brace of sturdy shin bones. The Dragon Maul orcs of the wetlands have nice thick shin bones. I'll need theirs, so that's annoying to go to as a Horde. But they must be sturdy. Be sure to test the shin bones as you collect them. I remember this. You got to kind of break them. If you can break them with your bare hands, then they won't be sturdy enough to work with. I'm waiting for those shin bones. I think every single one drops 2, but they very rarely are sturdy. They'll make a nice frame for your leg guards. Well done. These all look strong. I think they'll do nicely. How did those orcs mind you taking their shins? Complain much? That was another joke. You're not laughing. I'm not very funny these days, am I? Yeah, it says 999 Dragon Ball shin bones. Yeah, you basically have to get that many. Okay, whereas you need sun-scorched shells if you're coming from the Alliance side. My colleague Furin Longbeard made a discovery. Again, you're just collecting them, which I'm eager to test. I wish to try on a new armor that I'm researching, for I believe Furin's techniques will produce superior results. Will you help me? If you gather what I need to make the armor, then I will make an extra piece for you. I need the sun-scorched eggshells of the high-perch wyverns who dwell at High Perch in Thousand Needles. Search for the shells below their nests and return to me when you have a sufficient amount. So this one is a little bit high and hard because of the level of it. Do you have the shells? They're quite strong and can be rendered into a lacquer that I'll use to coat the links of my new mail armor. Yeah, this might be hard to do at level 20. Ah, thank you. These will work splendidly. I'll begin fashioning your armor immediately. So that's a little bit tough. For sure. So, yeah, getting past... The only good thing is you don't need to kill the wyverns. You need to sneak by them, but not aggroing them. It's going to be tough. So we have to get down here. There's an island. There's another mountain. And this is probably about it, because we have, as we walk here, we'll read our last quests, which is going to be brutal leg guards. Trying to not aggro these. I think we aggroed that guy, because we are kind of low level. We are 20, and these are about level 20. Here are your leg guards. Let me know how they fit if you need, or if you need any modifications. I aim to please. At least I used to. These guys don't care. These days I don't care much for my craft, but it beats being a mindless minion of the Scourge, I guess. And these are 171, 7 strength, 7 stamina. I believe when I did this quest at around level 30, one of the objects of the 4 was a side grade for like until I did the next thing I did, next quest or next dungeon. It was very underwhelming to do it all so late in the game. And then Malthiel's armor. I have finished same stats, of course. I have finished with your piece of armor, and I am quite pleased. Furin's new techniques meshed perfectly with my own, and I'm sure this armor will prove to be quite resilient. Thank you. And may this serve you well in future battles. Alright, so we're just going to turn in this quest, and we'll stop. We'll log out on the top of this mountain, because we're already at time here. But we did the first level. Look at these little grubs. Actually, I have not been in this area this low level in a very long time. So everything aggroing onto me is the novel sensation for my character. Or for me, not my character. For my character, Gleekon. So, yeah, we did the first quest, which was go from Orgrimmar or wherever into to meet Island. Then Island step 2. I hope I don't die. Okay, good. Was to go from her over to meet with Brian. So that's it. We're just doing step 2.
Yes?
We'll pick up step 3.
I have a feeling I know what you're going to ask me. What would possess someone to live out here in the deepest part of the Barrens? The threat of Quilboar all around and no protection. Well, we all have our reasons to justify why we act the way we do. The real question is, what brings a lowly person to the deepest reaches of the Barrens to speak to a woman who obviously has no concern for her own well-being? I'm willing to bet we both know the answer to that. To find understanding and gain the Sapta from me, you must seek out only the purest forms of water. As you fetch the samples for me, take note of your surroundings. Be aware of the creatures that rely on the water, that protect it. See how it affects forests and deserts. Witness how the very substance that sustains life will force creatures to take lives. We shall start with a simple task. Down below my hut there is a pond of the precious liquid. Fill this skin with it and return to me.
Okay, so this is such a short one, and my thinking is I'm a little bit worried that I think one of the quests I'm like 99% sure wants us to go to Hillsbrad. So what I want us, or something like that, what I would like us to be able to do, I don't want to fight these guys. We're going to aggro them so easily. You just have to fill it right here. It's such a quick quest. Can I fill it? Okay. Oh, and we pulled a Quilboar. Great. I might have to use a potion on this one. And even with that, I may still die. I like that it didn't fully interrupt. It just slowed us down. Okay, good. They don't want to come up here. So we are going to do step 3 because I think one sends us over there, and I want to be able to hearth now so that our cooldown is off so we can re-hearth again on the way back to save us time on our next episode. I am just about prepared to send you on your other tasks. Have you filled the skin yet? I know how protective the Quilboar can be. Even such a small water source in it is a vast hoard of wealth to them. They have great feasts when even the slightest rain comes to the Barrens. Water is sacred to their kind because it is so scarce. Do you understand?
I thought some bloodshed might ensue if you tried to take water from the pool. It is a pity the Quilboar do not realize that all living things are tied together. That their greed only perpetuates the pain and suffering of their people. How much could they accomplish if they were to put their differences aside and their clans came together? Again, a pity, but more than likely a boon for the other races of the Barrens. Long ago, I followed some companions into the Hillsbrad foothills. We defended ourselves from some tenacious humans who make their home there, and we found ourselves in a small town the Forsaken had taken over, Terran Mill. It was there I found a most peculiar thing. In the center of town was a small well of fresh spring water. I'm not sure the plagued citizens of the town even realize its value. It's a small holy vestige in an unhallowed sea. Bring me a sample of that water in this water skin. Alright,
so we've completed 3 of the 10 quests, 9 if you don't count the Sapta. And we do have to go. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to Hearth to Orgrimmar, which will at least get us close. And then the cooldown will reset. But on the next episode, we'll have to take the Zeppelin over there. Then we'll have to make a travel over to Terran Mill, which is going to be a little bit annoying because we haven't done that on this character. It's not as annoying as a Horde as it is for Alliance because we'll be able to come here into the Sepulchre, then we'll be able to just travel from the Sepulchre along the road up to Terran Mill, so it's much less annoying than having to come from an Alliance character. But we will have to make that journey next time. So we've completed 3 of 30%, or about a third of the Horde quest for Call of Water, the Shaman quest. All right, thank you. So we have another episode in the pipe, 5x5. All the level 20 quests have been covered, and we are well on our way to completing the Call of Water and then resuming our journeys in Silver Pine. So thank you everybody so much for watching and for tuning in, and I will see you next time on War of Warcraft.